What's going on, guys? Welcome to the Winning Move podcast. I'm your host, Stratton Brown. Some quick housekeeping things. If you guys are looking to get any type of real estate virtual assistants, go to callmagicians.com. We have the best in the industry. And real quick, this is our guest. He's a badass. He's blown up on TikTok recently. I didn't even know how you could blow up that fast, but was a millionaire by like 24, flipped his first house for $100K. He's in some dope masterminds, and now he's not even working that much and traveling all the time. I follow you on IG. So. Austin Rutherford, thanks for coming on, bro.
Absolutely, brother. Looking forward to this, man. Appreciate you having me on.
Oh, yeah, bro. So tell me, quick recap of what got you started into real estate.
Yeah, we were just talking a second ago. My original dream was to be in the NBA. So I went to prep school, loved basketball, but it got to the point where I hated the game. I didn't want to touch a rock at all. So I read a book called, I don't know what made me turn to reading because I hated reading, but I read a book called Think and Grow Rich. It opened up my mind to the possibility of making money outside of being an athlete. And then I don't know where I heard it, but I read somewhere that 90% of all people who file a tax return with $1 million or more on it had real estate in their portfolio. I was like, well, that's it. That's how I'm going to get rich. And just dove in, immersed myself, learned, bought my first house at 20, flipped my first house at 22.
What do you think caused your burnout, bro? I'm fascinated by burnout.
Man, I don't know. I was all in. I'd work out 3 times a day. It was basketball all day. And I'd walk around with a tennis ball in my hand, everything. And I don't know. But it one day I just woke up and I hated it. I didn't want to go to practice. I didn't even want to play in the games. And the games is the fun part. And I just hated it. Yeah, I don't know what caused it. I probably overwork. Maybe I don't know that answer.
What was your because from sports is what created my work ethic, 100%.
Yep.
What was your basketball regimen like, and how much did it help you in structuring your business life? Because for me, bro, it was having my life being super structured, right, playing D1, and then having, for one, my identity taken away. I'd love to talk to you about that. You're no longer a hooper, you're no longer an athlete, you're just some fucking guy. You know what I'm saying? And then having to plan my whole day on my own, which was something completely new to me.
100%, bro, 100%. I mean, I'm sure very similar like you. I'd get up, I'd hit the gym, hit the weights, probably go to practice, stay after practice, get some shots up, do whatever schooling I was in, eat dinner, go to sleep, do it all over again. So, I mean, it was very scheduled, and it was work, because you were trying to be the best. So I think that one, being a competitor, and 2, being an athlete, I think that translates a lot into business. Because us as competitors like to win. So when we see other people winning, we want to win too, right? There's no hate. I love seeing people win because it motivates me. I use that as inspiration rather than hate. And then as far as work ethic, I can put in a 16, 18-hour day without even blinking an eye. I'm trying to get out of that because I want to actually enjoy life, but I have no problem doing it. If it needs done, I'm in, I'm game. I don't even working overtime or working too much, just isn't even a thing.
Right. I mean, it's a double-edged sword, right? Because you don't have any kids yet, right?
Not yet.
That's what I've run into, is to where my son is well, why aren't you here with me? You know what I'm saying? And that's when I'm oh man, I have to get more fit. I have to get better at business, right? Delegate more. You're already an amazing delegator. And so, have you run into burnout with work? Entrepreneur burnout is a real thing.
100%. At times, for sure. That's honestly why I started traveling and stuff. I worked for 3 years straight. Never bought anything nice. Never went on vacation. Nothing. I was just grinding my face off all day, every day. And it worked. I made a lot of money. It got me in the position that I'm in today. But definitely had burnout. And for me, traveling is a reset. The cool thing, we're on a laptop. You can do this from anywhere. Yeah. So traveling for me, to be able to sit on the beach or travel to different cities that I want to go to and be able to do that virtually is huge. And that alleviates a lot of my burnout, because at the end of the day, I'm still doing what I want to do with life.
Exactly. So your reset to burnout would just be, I'm going to go travel. That's really what I do, right? If I ever get really fidgety or anything else, I'll go back to Utah and I'll spend a couple weeks in Utah, and then I just go back and forth about every month or so.
Yep. It's a reset.
It's a great reset. So I got to lean forward, and I got a bunch of questions for you.
No, you're good. You're good.
On my laptop. So you read Think and Grow Rich, right?
Yep.
And Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
Yep.
So
yep.
what did it change, bro? Like, what did you start thinking about?
Just possibilities. Like, I remember very vividly. So I was in a prep school in Phoenix, Arizona, and the whole team lived in 2 townhomes, 3-story townhomes. We had like bunk beds in it. Yeah, and we had a 4th-story like walk-up balcony type of thing on the rooftop. And I remember just one night, I read it, like my mind was like, all right, how am I going to create money? How am I going to be an entrepreneur? And I was literally sitting on the edge of it with my feet hanging off. And I was sitting there just journaling, just all my thoughts. Like, all right, what am I going to do here? What am I going to do there? And I looked across the way, and it was like a 20 or 30 unit building. And for whatever, it just clicked. I was like, so he owns 20 units. And all of them pay him just to live there. And like, it's a simple thing thinking about it now, but like back then, I had no idea what real estate was. And it was like that's when it clicked. I was like, own real estate. Like, you get paid forever and you don't got to do nothing.
Yeah. I mean, I wish I would have read it earlier. I really don't think I would have played football. Like, I truly thought same shit, bro. Like, you can't tell a college senior they're not going to the league in any sport.
That's a fact.
You know what I'm saying? But like, I sit here and evaluate it. My coach was the D coordinator at South Carolina before he came to Fresno State, and he put out like 11 first-round draft picks at DB at my position, right? So like, he knew what the hell he was talking about. Coach Clowney, all that.
Nice.
And he was he told me, like, Strat, I love you. He was a great father figure to me. He was like, bro, you'll be like practice squad and teams. He was like, I put out the best of them to where I'd sit and like, if I would have hopped in when I'm like 19, bro, that's an extra 4 years to where my entire goal when I got started in real estate was I just wanted to make NFL money, like practice squad money. Yeah, like, I was like, bro, if I can make $100,000 a year, I'm gonna be fucking golden. Like, I'm gonna be rich. You know what I'm saying? Like, I thought I'd be golden, and so I think it's fascinating because I consider, in our age group at least, like, there's like you, Ryan Dossie, Raph, and Donnie are like the one, and then a dude out of Pittsburgh, Ryan Shalala, are like
that's my guy.
Right, but he's fucking killing it, bro.
Yeah, for sure.
Or like the big ones in our industry, and like what age they started at, and it's really interesting because I don't even think I could have handled it at that age. Like, how'd you stay focused, bro?
I mean, I've never been like I used to get made fun of like going out to parties because like I wasn't the talker. I didn't like being on camera. I was nervous to talk to women. Like, I was just kind of like stood in the corner. So people always kind of like made fun of me for that. And at the time it sucked, but like, it was really kind of a blessing because I didn't really enjoy going out and kicking it and partying and drinking and doing all those things that teenagers, 18, 19, 20-year-olds enjoy doing. So for me, it was easy to work because like, I didn't want to be embarrassed standing in the club. So I'd rather just put in the work, make six. I remember the first time I told my friends I made 6 figures, like they lost it. Like, they thought that I was the richest man on the planet. And like, to me, like, I was just getting started. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, I think it was a blessing in disguise.
Right. I mean, I just think about like me at 19, drinking my ass off and like trying to stay focused in that. But like, once you find something you can push into it and you just take that same obsession from sports and put it into something else, it's going to translate eventually. For sure.
100%, bro. Work ethic. Like, people always ask what the secret is. What's the shortcut? Fucking secret is work. Like, there's no shortcut around it. Put the work in and you'll figure it the fuck out. Like, I interviewed a kid today. He's 8. It was 2 of them, partners, 18 and 19 years old. And they're trying to wholesale real estate. They finally closed their first deal a couple of weeks ago, made $11,000. And I asked him, I said, how many phone calls did y'all make to get that one deal? A flabbergasting number, 20,000 phone calls to get one deal. Most people would have quit on phone call 10 or 100 or 1,000 or 10,000. 20,000 phone calls to get that first deal. Now they got like 5 more deals in the pipeline. 18 and 19 years old. Like, there is no shortcut to work. You just got to put the work in.
Right. Well, how long did it take you to get yours, bro? Like, what? Because I did some research beforehand. Like, was it like 9 months to a year?
16 months.
Fucking bananas. It took me like 6 months, and I was dead broke and everything.
Yep.
And I thought it was the longest period of time ever.
Bro, it sucks. Like I was working valet. I was working 50 to 60 hours a week valet. Like every chance I could get to work to save money, I was there. I was going to college full time. I promised my mother I'd get my college degree. That's what everybody wants to do nowadays. So I was going to college and making offers every single day for 16 months and writing handwritten envelopes in my parents' basement till 2 a.m. in the morning every freaking day. And it did that for 16 months. I remember one day I was driving home from work. I got off at 3 p.m. It was a day I didn't have class, so I was going home to like do marketing, and I was driving and I fell asleep at the wheel, and I woke up because I hit the curb. My car was on the curb and there's a light pole right in front of me. And I woke up, saw the light pole, swerved back onto the street, went home, kept working. So like it sucks. It was awful. But that's what makes us who we are today. You know what I mean?
Right. And I want to talk to you about like this coaching aspect, right? Because I have people who come to me for coaching or even come to me for advice, right? I run a meetup group of like 700 people here.
I love it.
Right. But like we have so many people who come up to us, say they want to get into it, and then they fizzle out after like 2 weeks, bro. Like, and like they don't put in the work. Like, one thing I run into, even people who have paid me to show them what to do, they still don't do the work. And I started charging just because like I thought they would do the work since they have skin in the game.
Yep. 100%. Same here, bro. I created courses and coaching programs because I got asked so many times to help. And I'm a nice guy. Like I love to help. I went to like pick my brain, went to lunch, went to dinner, all these times, and then nobody ever did anything. And I was like, why am I like, I'm wasting my time. Like I'm pissed at myself, not even you, like me. So I was like, all right, cool. Let me create some courses because if somebody pays, they'll do the work. And, some people are wildly successful. I got another student made $100,000 in 5 months wholesaling houses. And I got other students that have never done anything. So like it literally goes back to work.
Right. And so if you guys are listening to this, like I feel like the biggest thing, bro, like for me at least, I always just tell everybody, don't give up. Like you just have to keep pushing until you fucking hit the goal. Like no questions asked. You just have to keep going.
Yep. That's a fact. It's never a matter of if. If you take the right actions, it's never a matter of if. It's only a matter of when it's going to happen. It works. It's not rocket science. There's you've done it. I've done it. Thousands of other people have done it. It works. It's just a matter of when it's actually going to work.
Oh yeah. And let's talk about you still working while you were doing it, right? Because I have a bunch of people come up to me like, oh man, I can't wait to quit my 9 to 5, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, bro, you need marketing money. Like I've put myself in that situation to where I've had to go sell bunches of shit on Craigslist, sold everything I had for marketing money because I'd want to go get a job, donating blood twice a week. To where if I would have kept my 9 to 5, right? Yep. And like you just keep doing, I would have made more money because I would have had more money to throw into marketing.
Yep.
That's how I truly see it.
No, I mean, people like I'm not in the real estate business. You're not in the real estate business. We are in the marketing business. Every business out there is marketing. Coca-Cola, Apple, Amazon, everybody. They market to get clients. You have to market to get deals. That's what people don't understand. And I see too many people get into the game like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get into real estate, but I'm not gonna spend any money until I make money, and then I'll spend money. The problem is you're never going to get a deal to make money if you don't spend money on marketing. So I was just like you. I worked as much as I could for money just to throw into marketing. Like I'd never bought anything. I never went out to. I'd ate $1 hamburgers at Wendy's every single day, the 4-piece nugget and the crispy chicken sandwich every single day, so I could spend the rest of my money in marketing to try and get more deals.
What was your one did you have a head ass purchase when you made your 100K, like to reward yourself?
No, never. I didn't blow. I didn't even go out to dinner, bro. I didn't buy a pair of shoes. I didn't do anything. I paid off all my debt. I put it all back into the business.
Bro, I'll tell you a quick story of mine. So I don't know if you know Alan Folio. He was in the DM group, I think before you joined. Mm-hmm. And I started off working for him. And we closed on this 16-unit apartment building. And I made a $5K commission check.
Yep.
I went to Vegas the next weekend. I bought a fucking Gucci headband. Fast forward a year, when I break off Alan to do my own shit, I am dead broke. And I end up selling that Gucci headband on fucking eBay for $250.
Oh man, that's funny.
Well, like that's entrepreneurship though, bro. Like you're gonna have the ups and the downs that I don't think really anybody talks about.
Yeah.
What has been, for lack of better words, your biggest lesson / failure?
Oh, that's a good question. I mean, I feel like I fail every day, honestly. I mean, I've lost money on houses. We're selling a deal on the 5th. I'm going to lose $19,000 on. You know, you obviously try and limit those. It's only happened to me 3 times in my entire career, and we're hundreds and hundreds of houses deep. So that's a blessing, but you fail all the time. You know, I've hired bad contractors. I've been stolen from. I've been robbed. I've been sued. I've paid people ahead of time. I've lost money on deals. I've passed up looking back on some of the best opportunities I've ever seen in my entire life. Now I'm like, man, why didn't I buy those? So again, I feel like I fail every day. But the difference is people that take failure as failure, and then people that take failure as a learning step to then continue forward.
Right. What was the deal you passed up, and why'd you pass it up? Like the big one you think about.
So it's all in one neighborhood. So I was in most of my investments was in this one neighborhood. And like afterwards, like it just happened. So, okay, let me run it back. So the neighborhood, I started getting opportunities. I didn't believe in the neighborhood because I thought it was too rough. And then fast forward a year and a half, 2 years later, it's like where I made all of my money because I believed in the neighborhood at that time. So I passed up on a 5-unit apartment building for $100,000. It needed maybe 10 grand a unit, maybe. It'd probably be worth 700 grand today, 600 grand today. So that's a no brainer. I passed on a mixed space, 2 commercial, 2 apartments for 100 grand. It's probably worth 400 or 500 grand today. Passed up on like vacant lots that are selling for 100 grand a pop now. So like it's a lot of them, but like looking back, like now I don't pass up on opportunities that are there now. Like there's 2 apartment buildings that I've purchased where at the time I was like, yeah, like, I don't really know if I should do this. And I called one of my homeboys and I was like, yo, here's the deal. What's up? He's like, remember those deals you regret? I was like, yeah. He's like, don't regret this one. I was like, bet, I'm buying them. And I bought them, and they're some of the best deals I've had right now. So you just learn from your mistakes. You know, you can't dwell on the past.
Right. Well, it comes with like that learning. Cause like for me, I'll stray away from that fucking skinny deal. Cause I've lost on, I lost out on an 80K sub 2 last year because I passed it up. I only looked at it through one lens. Yeah. And the guy who was going to sell it to me, it's like, all right, whatever, I'll throw it on the market. He makes 80K the next month. Right. And I'd say that's like the biggest one I've lost out at. And it's just lesson after lesson after lesson that have shown me what moves to make.
For sure. For sure.
What's your portfolio look like as far as real estate goes?
You said, what does my portfolio look like?
Yeah.
So we buy units every week, but I think I got like 75 units right now. So it's almost $10 million in value. We got Airbnbs, we got small apartment buildings, we got singles, we got doubles, we got commercial buildings. So, you know, my focus now is trying to stack units, but go bigger now, get more bigger units. I used to think like I wanted 100% of everything, but now like I want 100 unit, you know, split it up on a couple people, everybody break bread and keep on stacking like that.
Yeah. And so why do you want to do bigger units? I have a friend who is adamant against them, and he has 200 units here in Fresno.
He's adamant against bigger units?
Yeah.
So I'm not pivoting 100% to bigger units. I'm still doing the singles and the bigger units because I believe that single families have more opportunity for growth and appreciation, which is probably similar to why your guy likes them. So I love him for the same reason, but he got 200 units. He's managing 200 different sites. That can be a headache at times.
Right. That's
on the multi-fam apartment building, you can have 100 units in under one roof, one property management company, one roof, one team. So that's why I like that idea, but the appreciation isn't as great, but the cash flow can be better and the ease of management can be better. So I don't think it's one or the other personally. I think it's both. So
what are you actively doing to get there now? Like, have you pretty much just pivoted the wholesale marketing into apartments, I'm guessing?
Yeah. So, I mean, we're doing marketing to wholesales, not to wholesales, to apartments. We're buying from wholesalers, singles, doubles. If they have a multifamily, we're definitely doing that. But talking with people too, I got some friends from high school that are now brokers in the commercial real estate world. Yep. So connecting with them, trying to get on their good side to feed deals. So yeah, I mean, it's the same thing. Like we found out, we never knew how to market for houses. We found out how to buy houses at a discount. Guess what? It's the same learning process. You just got to pivot and do something else.
Oh yeah. How much cash flow if you don't mind sharing, does your portfolio shoot off? And at like what point, what's your goal with that? And when were you happy with it? At least like, oh, I can actually like pull a check out of this without some bullshit happening.
For sure. So I have a property management company. So like I don't manage it at all. I get like one call a month. So I'm completely hands off. So I got to pay them, obviously. So my net, we're still stabilizing a couple of them. We just finished 8 units. We got like 7 or 8 more singles. We got to stabilize. But at the net after vacancies, after repairs, it'll probably be like 10 to 15 grand a month. I don't know what the gross is, honestly, but I think that'll net us about net about 10 to 15 grand a month.
How did you ever manage your units on your own, or did you automatically like, fuck it, bro, I'm getting a property management company?
The first 2 that I ever owned, I managed myself, and it was like New Year's or Super Bowl or some like big day, and I got a call that the furnace was broken in the middle of the winter here in Ohio, and me and my dad actually went over there to go and fix it, and I missed like the game, and I was like, this ain't it. This definitely. So yeah, we've hired a property management company since then. But like we have Airbnbs that my team manages, so my assistant handles the communication and stuff. I have a commercial building where my office is, so we manage that building just because we're there. So I think we manage like 8 of the 70, but there's reasons for that. But the other 62, like, I don't want anything to do with them.
Oh yeah. Do you even stray away from shitty areas? Like we talked about that a little bit earlier, or you just, no matter what, I'm gonna buy it. If I can buy a house in the shittiest area for $5 grand, I'm doing it.
No. So like I'm not buying like in the bottoms. So you know this, in high great areas, the cash flow isn't that great. In very, very low, terrible areas, the cash flow is great because like it sucks. If you actually collect rent, it's great. So I like to be in the middle. I like to be in like B- and C+ areas. Okay. I might own a couple in A. You can argue that they're A areas. They're becoming A areas. And I don't own anything in like D areas. So I like the middle ground.
Okay. And then what would you say like your average unit turn is? You're in Columbus, right?
Yep.
I was talking to a property manager because we were looking at South Bend to buy some stuff. And she's like, I own a bunch of stuff out there. Yep. And I don't even really have to turn shit that much because just the rental quality is that way. To where like they don't want, it's not a ton. Like I live in California. Where like you want to kind of go to the nines on it. And she was like, it's really not that big of a deal. You can go in there pretty cheap and fast, and your cost of living's lower. So the prices are even lower.
Yeah. So, I mean, like some of our like C- plus areas, you can keep the old cabinets, you can keep the old trim, you can like basically you can go in there and paint carpet. But like the areas that we have, like the B's going to A's, like they got granite, stainless, hardwoods, like to the ground. And then the single families that are like C+ going to B's, I renovated them to be A's. Because I think that's where the city of Columbus is going. You know, there's projections that Columbus will be bigger than Chicago. So, like, I think it's already headed that way. And if we can budget that on the purchase, you know, I'm good with that. You know what I mean? So I'm kind of looking long term. If we have to liquidate, it'll be very easy to liquidate.
And so do you burr everything?
Yeah. The first duplex I ever bought, I didn't know what the burr was. So I bought it turnkey. I put like $40,000 as a down payment. And then I learned about the burr, and then every unit after that has been through the burr method.
Okay. And then let's talk. You don't use any of your own money for any of this?
None. Nope.
Where does most of your private money come from? Like masterminds? Does it come from people in your community who are like, well, Austin's moving and shaking. I know I can trust him, because honestly, posting on social media is good enough. I like, for a lot of people, they see your portfolio pretty much, and then you've already built trust with them without even knowing it.
For sure. I mean, so for example, people way underestimate the power of social media, and that's a whole different topic for a different conversation.
We're gonna talk
way underevaluated. But like I made a post on social media. I had a lender back out the day before closing. So I made a post. I was like, yo, here's this opportunity. It was 50 grand or 100 grand, I forget. But I was like, if you're interested, hit me up. I got a couple messages. And then I was like, yeah, I need it tomorrow. And somebody I've never met, never talked to, I got on a 5-minute phone call, and they're like, all right, cool. Send me the wire info. They didn't even have documents yet. They're like, send me the wire info, just because they trust me off of social media. So I've been able to make a lot of money, build a lot of relationships from social media. I don't really get much money from like masterminds. I don't know. I haven't done that. But I've got money from RIAs. So like local real estate meetups, because everybody likes the idea of being in real estate, but then they get into real estate and they realize it's not that easy. So then, instead of them wanting to flip houses, they just want to be passive investors into houses. So I've been able to raise a lot of money from people that are in RIAs. And then like family, and then friends, family, and friends, families. So, everywhere I go, I talk about it. I try and get private money literally everywhere. Talk to everybody about everything. I used to be like shy about talking about money, but when you realize you have an opportunity for somebody, you talk to them. I genuinely believe, wholeheartedly believe, me not telling somebody is a disservice to them. So me not telling you about private money lending and helping you retire faster and doubling or tripling or quadrupling your retirement account, I wholeheartedly believe that I'm doing a disservice to you by not telling you. So me telling you is very, very easy. And if you don't want it, that's your problem, but I'm telling everybody about it.
All right, well, you're giving them a better return they're going to get anywhere else. And it is passive. And you don't have to worry about stocks.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, well, I get 12% in stocks. Like, okay, well, there was like a doomsday last week, bro. Like, your shit's gone.
Agreed.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, real estate doesn't crash like that. Like, it might go down 5-10%. Our market for sure, it doesn't crash that heavy because we're a very insulated market. But like, even if it does, it's not you losing money, it's me. You know what I mean? Like, I owe you the money, period. I signed for it. So yeah, I genuinely believe that wholeheartedly.
What are some of the biggest objections you've ever gotten from your private money lenders? Like shit they're scared about.
Market crashing, that's always a big one. Like, well, what if I lend this money and then the market crashes and the property's worth half of what it was worth or something? So I come back to them with facts. I'm like, hey, I understand that. The cool thing about real estate is it doesn't crash in 24 hours like the stock market does. Like I'm sure you witnessed back in March. So creating doubt in their mind. Real estate actually takes like 6 to 12 months to turn. And, even in 2008, when Columbus crashed, the highest part that crashed was 15%. So we're already buying this 75 cents on the dollar. So even if it crashes 15%, we just make less money than what we wanted to make. But at the end of the day, Mr. Lender, I've actually lost money and my lenders have been made whole. So don't worry about it. You get all your money back. So that's one big one. And then I also personally guarantee it, not just a business. I'm not giving you legal advice, blah, blah, blah. But I do a personal guarantee. And I do a cognovate note, which is different than what a lot of people do.
What is that? I've never heard of that.
So I get 100% funding, right? So that every dollar in that property is their money. So what a cognovate note does, instead of like if I miss a payment, usually they have to like serve notice to me. They got to file with the courts. They got to foreclose. They got to go to trial. It takes 3, 6, 9
performance deed.
Yeah, it takes time to get the property back. So I'm like, hey, I'm sure you've never heard of this, but what I'm willing to do, I'm willing to sign a cognovate note, which if I miss a payment, you file a piece of paper and the property's gone. There's no argument. There's no trial. There's no notices. There's nothing. It's gone. So I'm willing to put my money where my mouth is, that I'm going to do what I'm going to say I'm going to do. Otherwise, you get to make all of my profit instead.
That's, what's it called? If you guys are outside of Ohio, at least in Phoenix, it's called a performance deed. Okay. In California, it's called a performance deed.
Yeah.
And that's what we tell our sub-2 sellers. So if anything happens.
So if you miss a payment, they just take it back.
Yep.
Exactly. Yep. So that, and then another one's like, what happens if you, and then like, hey, you get the property, you actually make more money than what you would have made. Those are usually the biggest ones.
Right. I feel like those are people's two biggest concerns. What was the biggest game changer that helped you become a millionaire and so successful at such a young age?
Thinking bigger. That's it. If I'd have thought bigger when I started, if I'd have thought the way I think now when I started, I'd be light years ahead.
But who showed you how to think bigger?
You said who did?
Yeah, like what made you even think that you need to think bigger? Like at what point in time did that click for you? Mentors.
The people that are in a position that you want to be in, you get around them, and then what you think is big, they're doing that on the daily. You're like, fuck, like, I gotta get bigger. So yeah, I'm a big believer in mentorship. I spent $50,000 to $100,000 a year just in mentorship and masterminds because I believe in the power of association, and I want to be around those types of people. Like I was in a room the other week. It was probably might have been $1 billion in the room. $1 billion with a B, not an M. And I'm sitting there like, oh yeah, I'm the small fish. Like, let's go. Like it's time to rock this. So if you put yourself around those types of people, they'll force you to level up. And good mentors will push you past your comfort zone. The whole reason I got on social media was because a mentor encouraged me to. So like I wouldn't be who I am today without social and the relationships that have came from social media, and that came from a mentor. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So
how do you know you're picking the right mentor? Like
Man.
what made you like identify? My big thing is like, do I resonate with you?
Yeah.
And I'll tell you like something like afterwards, but like I knew like, no, this is the guy who's going to take me where I want to go. Like take my money. Like I know what you do. Here you go. Like how did, for people who are just getting to like, let's say they want to go to their first conference or anything else, or maybe they've done a deal and like, you know what, I want someone to show me how to scale. For what, at least for me, I always say like, show me the HUDs, like for mentors, number one, like if you're going into real estate, but then what else do you look for in mentors?
I mean, obviously proof that they're doing the business. You know, you already said that, show me the HUDs. And then I don't know, like I'm big on like gut and feeling. You know, I feel anytime I sit down with somebody, I can tell from the jump, like if I'm going to get along with them and if I think they're a genuine person. So you definitely got to click. Like you don't want to feel weird calling your mentor like out of place, because like obviously that's not a good thing for them to be your mentor and you'd be nervous calling them. So it's got to click. And then I've never in my life just like hired a mentor. I've always gone to like some event that they're holding, whether that's a 2-day weekend event or a meetup or something, so I can get to know them and see if they actually know what they're talking about. And then I'm more than willing to invest the money if it makes sense after that.
Yep. Hell yeah. What's the best piece of advice you've ever been given as far as business goes?
Oh, there's a lot. So the first thing I heard way back, I'll start there. I'll give you like 2 or 3. But when I was, I don't know, 16 or 17, you know, the value of time got drilled into my head. And time's the most valuable asset in the world. It's the only thing in this world that you can never have more of. So, you know, understanding the value of time. So like, think about this. If you want, let's say you want to make $1 million a year. You want to make $1 million a year. The working hours, if you work 40 hours a week for 52 weeks in a row, is 2,080 hours. Wow, hold on, that was definitely wrong. Divided by 2080. So your time is worth $481 an hour. So why are you doing something that doesn't not make you $481 an hour? So don't get me wrong, there's times where you're gonna have to do the bullshit paperwork and all that other stuff, but you gotta be thinking about how you can get to a level where you get paid $481 per hour. So, you know, value of time was huge when I first started. It's something that I heard recently, like within the last year or two, that's really, really, really been starting to resonate with me is most people build a business and then they build a life around that business. So they have this business and then they fit in their family and their kids and, you know, God and all these other things when they have time. We was talking about that earlier. You know, you got kids and stuff, right? I don't have that yet, but I know they're coming. And instead of building a business and then a life around my business, I was told to build a life and then build a business around your life. Build the lifestyle that you want, live the lifestyle that you want, and then find ways to have a business around that lifestyle. So that's something I've been working on heavy. And honestly, it's probably the most powerful thing I've heard. That's definitely changed the way I move today.
It made me make some serious, I hate wholesaling. Right, it's made me take some like serious pivots in my business life of like what I want to do, and I've talked to my mentor about it. He was like, "Bro, just get out of it. Like, stay in it, but you need to be doing bigger things for one and everything else because it's not how I want my life to look, bro. Like, you know what it's like. Like, it's a great way to get into business. I truly think it is an amazing way to get into business and generate some cash to 100%. Go on other ventures. But like, you're always looking for the next deal, bro. Always. And then you have employee turnover, especially if you are hiring people in your own market.
Yep.
So that motherfucker's gone in 1.5 to 2 years anyways.
Yep.
All that other stuff. You're about to say something.
I was going to say, you use it as a tool. Use real estate as a platform to make money, become a business owner, and then take that money to go out there and do what you actually want to do. I'm with you 1,000%, bro. I'm tired of, you know, slinging these little, you know, deals all day, every day, trying to chase, you know, 20 deals a month, whatever it is. You know, I've been there. I've done that. Like we've done 300K in profit in a month before. You know what I mean? Like I know it's there, but again, you want to build the business and then the life, or do you want to build the life and then the business? You know what I mean? And I can promise you this, there's people making way more money in way other ways than wholesaling houses. But again, I wouldn't be in the position I am today without it. So I'm super grateful for it. Still doing real estate, but you know, we're you know, things can be done differently. You know what I mean?
Right. I think the number one thing I didn't realize up until like 6 months ago is how much money people made outside of real estate, bro.
Bro, real estate's peanuts, yo. I got a friend that invested crypto, right? I got a friend that invested in cryptocurrency. He put $1.4 million in at 14 cents, and it hit $1.60 last week. He made $15 million in 6 months doing nothing. I'm like, yo, something's something's not clicking right now. You feel me? But yes, way more money. But again, use it for a platform, use it to generate cash to then do what you want to do with it.
Right. And I don't want people to get the wrong idea. Like I need real estate for tax write-offs too.
100%.
Right. So like I'll still buy shit and everything else. But like I'm looking at it and I'm just like, is wholesaling going to create the lifestyle that I want? And I just truly don't think it will. Right. Like you're going to be in it all the time, grinding away to where there's other dudes with media companies and other just crazy shit, door-to-door sales companies, like guys who run that who are just killing it somehow. To where I have someone who comes up and tells me they want to get into wholesaling. And I'm like, bro, why don't you go get into solar? I know dudes making $1 million a year doing solar.
Yeah.
No overhead.
Yeah. Just selling. I mean, again, there's different. I say everybody has their own journey. You know, wholesaling is a great way to stack cash. Phenomenal way. You know, you just got to ask yourself if you want to be doing the same thing 20 years from now. You know what I mean?
Without a doubt. Are you in any other markets besides Columbus?
So we've wholesaled in Cincinnati. So we got marketing, we got leads, we've done deals. It's Cincinnati, Ohio, and then most of our deals are in Columbus, Ohio.
And do you want to build your apartments in Columbus too?
I mean, that'd be awesome, but you know, I think Columbus is a phenomenal appreciating market, so it'd be great. But I mean, I'm down to take them down anywhere, you know. So I mean, anywhere the right opportunity comes, anywhere the right JV opportunity comes, you know, I'm down to take them down in different states, 100%.
Okay. So what other businesses are you currently running? And like, have you branched off into after we just got off that tangent?
Right back to the tangent. But yeah, I mean, we got the flipping business, we got the rental property business, we got Airbnbs. I have a data company, so it's like kind of like an email marketing business. I got money in crypto, I got money in stocks, I got money in Forex. I got an e-commerce store, a couple of them. I got the brand, I got affiliates, I got YouTube, I got education, I got courses, I got masterminds. So yeah, but you know, trying to diversify. You know what I mean?
At what point did you decide to diversify? Because now we can take it to where someone's doing 8 things at one time and then they're not good at shit.
For sure. I mean, I didn't. So when COVID hit in March 2020, most of my money, if not all, was in real estate. Now I was in different tangents of real estate. It was like flipping and wholesaling and rentals and new construction, but it was in real estate, right? Mm-hmm. That hit, and I was like, wow, like if real estate takes a spill, like this isn't going to be a good day, right? So it was like, boom, you know what I mean? We're here. So that's when I started diversifying. And all of my streams of income either have team members or partners that help run it. So I mean, there's no way I could do all that by myself. There's no chance on earth. But yeah, team members or partners that help with all those things.
Which one are you most excited about?
Brand.
Okay. I'm looking into the email marketing one with a dude, with Nate. I'm looking into that. I like that shit.
I love it. I mean, there's a lot of money in it. A whole lot of money in it.
There's a ton of money in that.
Yeah.
And why are you more? Go ahead.
I was gonna say email marketing and being able to write sales copy, game over.
Game over. Well, and talk about how like the sales copy even helps with education too, bro.
Oh, for sure, 100%. I mean, being able to sales is the single most the best skill anybody can learn. Being able to sell somebody on anything is huge, and if you can do it through virtual reality, whether that's text, email, social media, whatever it is, if you can do it online, you can touch way more people. So yeah, being able to write good sales copy and get people intrigued and get people to want to invest or buy or whatever it is game over.
Where'd you learn how to write good copy? Like, where are you going to learn more about writing good copy?
Yeah, I was about to say I'm still learning, but I've been buying a lot of books. There's got, what'd you say?
What books?
I'm starting one tomorrow. It's called the 16 word sales letter. I forget who wrote it, but I think it's called the 16 word sales letter. Dan Sullivan, I think is his last name. He's got a lot of really good books that talks about it. And I'm really trying to find a course to teach sales,
right.
But I don't know anybody that has one out right now. So I've heard really good things about that book though, the 16 word sales letter.
Okay. So you got that one. And why are you most excited about your brand?
I believe in two things. I believe that cryptocurrency will be the future. And I believe that eyeballs is the equivalent of currency going forward. So I believe if you have people that you can help, that you can give back to, the people that like and care about you, and you have eyeballs, then you can make money. You know what I mean? You can sell anything. You can have different opportunities for different people. So having a brand with a lot of eyeballs, I just believe is the equivalent of currency. And one of the coolest things that I get is when people message me like, yo, bro, I've been following you for 6 months. I just bought my first house, or I just made my first 6 figures and was able to retire my mother. Like, that's the most rewarding thing that I get. And, that comes from having a brand and being able to inspire more people and get in front of more people. So super excited about that.
So how did you scaled your brand crazy fast? Like, how did you get TikTok so big so fast?
So I heard about TikTok and I was like, man, I don't want to be on TikTok. And then a buddy of mine was like, yo, get a TikTok. He was pushing like 70, 80, 90,000 followers. And I was like, all right, I'll get a TikTok. Made like 2 or 3 posts. And I was like, nah, forget TikTok. He hit me up again. He's like, yo, I'm coming up on 200,000 followers. Get a TikTok. My business is blowing up. And I was like, all right, I should probably focus on getting a TikTok. So then I made a video and it had like 400,000 views in like 5 hours. And I was like, damn, like this is crazy. So I started making more videos. And then I had a video. It was like how I went from broke to multimillionaire. And it had like 1 million views in like 8 hours. I was like, what in the world? I had 70,000 followers in 48 hours. I was like, what in the world is going on? About a month ago, I just posted another one. It had 6.5 million views on it right now. There's nowhere else on earth you can get in front of that many people. It's humanly not possible. In that video, there were like 6 of us in it, and we're talking about real estate. And I've got hundreds of messages of people messaging me and other people, those guys messaging me from other people messaging them like, yo, you were on TikTok. Like, you cannot believe how big the audience can be. So I just went all in on TikTok. There was a time I was posting like 5 times a day. Now I post like once or twice a day. But you cannot get organic growth on any other social media platform like TikTok. So yeah, I'm going heavy on TikTok. And TikTok has funneled my Instagram growth. TikTok has funneled my YouTube growth. TikTok is pushing eyeballs to every platform that I'm on.
So I didn't want to get on TikTok because I thought it was like a bunch of kids dancing. I was like, man, fuck that.
Yep.
So where did you learn how to do TikTok from like a business perspective?
So like that's the same thing I was on. But my buddy, he runs a fitness business. Like he coaches people, virtual people, on how to get in better, fitness. So he would make posts about like, how to eat right, how to, count your calories, whatever it is. And I was swiping through and I saw some people talking about like, broke to multimillionaire, or how I bought my first house, or how I did this, or how I did that. I'm like, man, well, like I can do that. I've done it. I've got the HUDs, I became the millionaire. I've made millions of dollars. I got the properties. I was like, well, let me just run with that. So, I just talk about business. A lot of the things I come up like myself, a lot of the things I follow good content creators. Okay. And when I see them do something really cool that like gets a lot of views, I'm like, boom, let me take that, put my spin on it, and let's run with it. So yeah, that's kind of how it's grown.
Bro, how much time do you spend on like creating content a day?
My videographer is sitting over here. We just got done shooting. So we shot a YouTube video this morning. We shot 2 videos right before I jumped on here. So that was probably a couple hours just on YouTube video. I'm on here. I did a TikTok live for like 45 minutes today. So I'm pushing like heavy on the content side. So I mean, I'm definitely putting a lot of time in right now.
At what point did you get a videographer?
How long we been working together? A year? A year this month? Yeah. A year this month. So we do. So he helps mostly a lot with like YouTube. But like when we do our vacation masterminds, we was in Punta Cana last month. You know, he flew down there, got the entire event, you know, mixed it up, put hype videos, put clips, all that stuff together. So I mean, he's helped with the TikTok videos. So I mean, it's definitely grown. It's going to continue to grow. I genuinely believe that eyeballs is currency.
I was talking to Steve about it the other, what is it, last week? He said, bro, you know what, his number one revenue generating activity is making TikToks.
Steve Train?
Yeah. He was like, I need to make more content. He's like, that is mine. It's not sales calls. It's really me making content to drive the sales calls.
Yep.
That's how I am now. This drives our call center. Like this brings all of our business.
I love it, bro. I love eyeballs. That's it.
Eyeballs, bro. It's straight eyeballs.
Yep.
So how did you get your Instagram following so big? Like, did it jump after the TikTok?
Yeah, I mean, like so we track KPIs. Like I track how many views we get. I track how many times I post. I track all that stuff. So there was a week where we got 16,000 followers in 1 week. You know, 1 week we got 3,790 followers in the last 7 days. So like we track it, and you know when like Instagram or like TikTok or somebody changes the algorithm, we see a drop. So like we know exactly where the eyeballs are coming from, and right now it's mostly from TikTok.
Wow. So pivoting off, how do you feel about Clubhouse? I don't like it.
I think it's extremely valuable, but as a creator, it takes a lot of time because you have to sit on there for hours and hours and hours at a time. You have to pay attention because if you're like, yo, Austin, what do you think? You can't be like, what happened? Like you got to be on top of it. So I think it's super valuable. I'm on there. I'm not on there every day. You know, I think it's a great place to get eyeballs, but it takes a lot of time.
So much time. Well, I hate how I can't like verify someone, right? Because like there's people talking on these fat panels.
Bro, so much cat, yo. So much cat. People get on the stage and they're like, yeah, man, you know, I appreciate you bringing me up here. You know, I'm an entrepreneur and developer, real estate investor, Turo car driver, house flipper, you know, house cleaner. I do all these things, make 6 figures. And yeah, you know, I'm just happy to be here. So do you have a question? No, I just wanted to introduce myself. Like,
right. Well, you got the 3-minute intro of them raising cats, eventually losing their left arm. Like when they were like 8 years old, they grew it back when they were 12. Yeah. And then they competed in the Olympics at age 15. Like some like just wild shit. And then now they help Jay-Z with all of his branding. Like what? Yeah. Like I've never even heard of this guy. That's why I don't like it. Because there's so much ego that I can't verify.
I agree. 100%, bro.
So let's go back to a little bit of your rental portfolio. How many rentals have you added in the last 6 months? And has your TikTok and like all that growth, has that spurred like JV deals and shit?
Oh yeah, absolutely. You know, we buy a lot from other wholesalers because they see me on social and they're like, oh, I see that you're buying there, you know, check out this deal. So yeah, 100%. And like, so up until March really of last year, a lot of my time was on flipping and wholesaling. We made a lot of money doing it. But I think I only had like maybe 20 units in like March of 2020. So okay portfolio. And then I was like I'm tired of this. You know, I want to build wealth. I want to build generational wealth. Because the way I look at it, I'm financing everything on 20 years, sometimes 25. And I look at it, I'm like, I'm 27 now. I'm going to be 47 years old. I'm going to own over $10 million in real estate. You know, by then we'll probably be 100 million. Free and clear. I'll be cash flowing multiple 6 figures a month just on that. I'm like, that's wealth. That's freedom. So we kind of spun it. Instead of flipping and wholesaling, we started keeping more rental properties. So we've added like 40 to 50 in the last, 9 to 12 months.
That's awesome, bro. Congrats. That's huge.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate that, man.
Went over how much you invest in yourself every year, like upward, like it can be up to $100,000.
For sure.
What separates you from like other people who are under 30? Like people our age.
Work, bro. Work. 2 things. Work, being willing to put in the work, the right work, and thinking bigger, having the right mindset, being able to make a pivot, being able to, step back and look at life and then adjust to that life. Yeah, I think people get caught up in, trying to be king dingling, making six figures, making 100 grand a year, and like, oh, I made it. You know what I mean? I'm definitely not that person. I still wake up today and think I'm going broke. Like I'm like, I'm gonna lose it all today. And like, all right, cool. I got to figure out how to run something else up, start a new business, create more money, whatever it is. So I'm always pushing, I'm always growing, and I don't think I'm there, as people would say. You know what I mean?
How the hell did you pivot so fast, bro? That's a strong pivot in under a year into everything else. If you think about it, like you were flipping and wholesaling, and now you pivot and go on this fucking tear for the last like 11 months to generate all these other different income streams. And
bro. Yeah, I mean, so I got a friend, he says that, what did he say? He's like, once you have an idea, like you are the fastest person to implement it. So like, I don't sit there and dwell on ideas. So we were driving home one day and we were talking about doing a back to school backpack giveaway, like going into the neighborhood where we invest in and just giving away hundreds of backpacks, footballs, schools, everything, right?
Yeah.
We had the conversation in the car. It was like a 30-second conversation. I was like, oh, that's a dope idea. I love it. We were in the office the next day. We work in offices next to each other. And I was like, yo, it's going to be X amount of dollars. It's on March 13th. He's like, what is? I was like, back to school backpack giveaway. He was like, bro, we talked about this 12 hours ago. I was like, yeah, I already got the location. I got the team. Everything's ordered. We're ready to rock. So like, I think that's the thing. Like, I just, when I like want something, it just pivot. You figure out how to make it happen. Like I've made some decisions in life where like, it was definitely like unknown. Like I was very uncomfortable, because I was going away from what I knew. Right.
Yep.
And so another thing, a lot of people are scared to walk away from their identity. Their identity is a flipper or a wholesaler or a NBA or a football player or whatever it is. And they're scared to make that pivot because they're scared what other people are going to say about them. But the people that like don't care and that are willing to figure it out, are the people that I think are going to be successful.
What limiting beliefs have you had to like break and burst through? Like to get where you are? Like what was your biggest one?
Biggest. First one that came to my head was talking to people. Like I said, I never liked talking to people. I never thought like I was enough. I would literally go to like prom and legitimately stand in the corner the entire time. So like I didn't like to be out. I didn't like to talk to people. I didn't like to put myself in a position where I could fail because I was scared like what people would say. Now like I don't care. You know what I mean? If you don't rock, when I go to sleep at night, I put my head on the pillow and I'm asleep in 60 seconds because I believe that I'll do my best to serve everybody at the highest level. And I go to sleep at night peaceful as all can be. So like if we got beef or we got a problem, like that's your problem. You know what I mean? Like I try to serve at the highest level possible. And, I just try to do right by everybody. So I'm at peace at the end of the day.
And when did you really start to at least see things take off for you at that level, right? Because like now you're surrounding yourself with people like you're just like, man, fuck, what am I doing? You know what I'm saying? But like when did you actually start to see all of that momentum and hard work like taking off? Like, oh wow, like this shit's really rolling now.
Again, it's where entrepreneurs are kind of delusional. I don't think it's rolling. You know what I mean? Like I still think like we're just getting started. Like I think this is literally like, in the curve, like there's a curve and you just like kind of start going.
You're fucking walking on the plateau the whole time.
Yeah. Like I still feel like I'm there. I feel like I'm right at the turning, about to take off. And I just feel like I got to keep producing, keep serving, keep adding value. And it's gonna hit a rock. What do they say nowadays? To the moon. So we're gonna go to
the moon. It's to the moon. What's that question? And bro, how are you so humble? I've been to some big masterminds and I've met a couple other people who are under their 30s who are straight assholes. Like for lack of better words, but I'm like, I don't give a fuck. But like legitimate assholes who wouldn't give me the time of the day. And I was like, wow. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm at the mastermind for a reason. I may not be at your level, but I'm somewhat competent. And I still didn't have time of day. So how have you kept yourself level-headed?
Again, I think it's thinking that I still haven't made it. Like waking up and thinking like I'm still about to go broke. So I'm always trying to learn. I'm always trying to get better. Talk to people, network with people. I know for a fact, like I do not know it all. at all. Like I need people around me that know more than I do because I know I can't do it by myself. So like I think it's just being humble and knowing that you don't know everything. You know, even if there's a guy making $50 million a year, guess what? That's pennies to Bezos. You know what I mean? And Musk. It's nothing. So you can't sit there and tell me that you don't have something to learn from somebody else. So I think it's, staying humble is just being down to earth and realizing that you don't know it all at the end of the day.
Okay. Best piece of advice, sports and work ethic. How'd your parents take you dropping out of school, bro? What did they say to you? My parents were curious.
Yeah. So again, like I promised them I would go. So I went. They knew I was trying to start real estate. My first house I flipped, I made $107,000 net profit. My second house I flipped, I made like 30 to 40 grand net profit. So I made almost $150 in like a 4-month period. And I just went to my mom. I was like, hey, Ma, you're never going to see me walk across that graduation stage. And again, she saw the entire, I was living with them. Like they saw the entire process and they're like, yeah, I figured this was coming. So it was all love. Like after I've proven a different route, that they've supported me, from day one for sure.
Hell yeah. Failures and lessons. What are your goals for the next 5 years, bro? Like where do you have a vision laid out for where you want to be in the next 5 years?
Yeah. I mean, my goal is to get to 10 million net a year. So that's $833,000 a month. And the key here is passively with freedom. I don't want to be slaving 100 hours a day. So figure out how to make that happen. That's the goal.
I like that. Failure and lesson, real estate. And then, bro, what's something someone said to you that you've like taken personally? Have you seen the MJ meme? And I took that personally. Like, what's something that someone said that like has like left that chip on your shoulder?
So I'm going to give you a funny one secondly, but I'm going to be serious on this first one. But a good friend of mine said, like, it does not matter where your motivation comes from, as long as you have motivation. So something that I've always been big on, like, I hate losing. Like, I don't want anybody to that I've, came from in the past to be more successful than me. And like, it's all love, but like, I want to raise each other up.
I'm not fucking losing, bro.
Yeah, that's a fact. Right. So yeah, I mean, just having that edge to keep winning. And like, I remember one time in high school, like I broke up with a girl and like I went to the gym every day. And my boy was like, yo, what's going on? I was like, I'm gonna walk out of here with the craziest body. I'm gonna go to her pool and I'm gonna make her see me, shredded, looking good with all the other girls around me. Cause like, I wanted that, you know what I mean? So I love to win. So that's one thing. And then kind of funny thing, TikTok. The thing with TikTok is you get a lot of hate, a whole lot of hatred, like so much hatred. And the first video that I did, it was like how I became a millionaire. And it was like a dance, it was like poking around and like bubbles and popping up. And it was like bought a house at 19, flipped a house at 22, made 100 grand, flipped 20 houses, millionaire, whatever. And in the comment section, like it was hundreds of comments. I started scrolling through it. And there was one of the kids in there, it was like how I became a millionaire. They're like, you sold your hair. I was like, oh, like, damn, that hurt. And I literally, it took me a second. I was like, because then I kept reading and it was like 10 of them. I was like, geez. But like literally, like, you just snap out of it like, man, fuck these kids. Like they don't got nothing for me. So that was just a funny one. It hurt for a second.
Bro, kids can be mean, bro. Kids are fucking rough.
For sure.
They're rough. What's the biggest thing I got two more. What's the biggest thing you've pulled out of your masterminds? And that you pull out of it and it's been helpful, the most helpful.
Thinking bigger is always like right, like at the top. Just like you get comfortable, you make some money, you think you're doing something, then you get there, you're like, well, damn, I'm not doing anything. So that's always good. The competitive nature, that brings out the best of it. And then social media. Like I got social media. So they was like, yo, post on Instagram, post on Facebook. Boom, started that. They were like, yo, get a YouTube channel. Boom, started that. They're like, yo, start an email list. Boom, started that. So like that has all grown massively. So I think that's something that's been a huge takeaway for sure.
Yeah. Well, social touch on why you think social media is just the most slept on thing ever.
So I believe there's two ways in this world that social media happens, and you're in one of these two buckets, period. There's no way out of these two buckets. And the two ways are social media uses you, which is about 90% of the population, or you use it, which is about 1% of the population. And you can sit there and say like, well, I don't have Instagram or I don't have Facebook. I'm not being used by social media. Somebody in your life has social media and they're talking to you about whatever the fuck's going on social media. So yes, you are being used by social media. You cannot get away from it. It's everywhere nowadays. So it's using you or you're using it. And what most people say is that, well, like, I don't want to put myself out there. I don't want to be judged. Guess what? Everybody's already got a fucking judgment of you. Every single person, the second they see you, they judge you. The cool thing with social media, if you use it, you control that judgment. You tell the story that you want to tell to the world, and then that's what you're judged on. So you can't get around it. You literally can't get by it. And eyeballs is currency. There's people getting paid. Kylie Jenner gets paid $1 million to post a fucking picture with a Contigo water bottle. $1 million to post one picture. Oh, yeah. It's the future. It's currency at the end of the day.
Well, I read an article talking about the whole reason she's worth $1 billion is because she had such a big social media following.
Yep.
That built up her makeup company.
100%.
Like that's the reason she's worth so much money.
But Jake Paul or
Jake and Logan Paul.
One of the two. How do you get a fight with Floyd Mayweather and you've never boxed a day in your life?
Bro.
Because you got a fucking social media following and you're going to get fucking paid, and Floyd Mayweather knows that. Just from eyeballs. That's it. That's how you get the fight.
Paid.
Big paid.
And then what are two books that you would recommend to everybody that have absolutely changed your life that isn't like Rich Dad, Poor Dad, bro?
Oh, so not Think and Grow Rich. Think and Grow Rich is number one, but I'll give you two more.
Not Think and Grow Rich either.
How to Win Friends and Influence People, The Digital Age. There's two copies. Get the one that says the Digital Age. So Russ's book called It's All in Your Head, the rapper Russ, he's got a book called It's All in Your Head. Really? It's similar to Think and Grow Rich, but puts a different spin on it. But again, it's the power of thinking bigger. Like one of the songs, it's the song called Manifest. It was like I'm driving the McLaren, but I've been telling myself that since I was broke, since I was in the Toyota Camry, you can put enough good out into the universe, it's going to come back to you tenfold. So I just like, I love his lyrics, and I think the book's very powerful as well.
Oh yeah, I think Law of Attraction super slept on, bro. Like even though I think it's 100% woo woo, but it works. Like I love Bob Proctor, bro. I love Bob Proctor.
Yep. Agreed.
All right, bro. Man. Where else can people find out more about you?
Instagram, Austin Rutherford Official, YouTube, Austin Rutherford, and TikTok, Austin Rutherford. We out here every day.
What's your last piece of advice for people who are listening, man?
Oh, last piece of advice. Again, I believe in two things. I think cryptocurrencies is the future, and I think social media is the future. So, I would invest what you can into crypto. You can lose it, so don't go too heavy. But I can guarantee you one thing. When you build a brand 5 years from now, you won't look back and say, damn, I wish I wouldn't have helped more people. So the brand is everything.
Hell yeah, bro. Thank you so much for coming on, man.
Absolutely, brother. Appreciate you having me on, bro.